I want you to see my face better. I'm still myself. Well, I came to participate gladly too in the unveiling of this wonderful book, only to now turn out to be the chairman. Well, the book to be unveiled today speaks for itself. Fundamental Rights Enforcement Procedure. Fundamental Rights Enforcement Procedure Rules, 2009. Very, very important book. Nigeria is a democracy, constitutional democracy, founded on the rule of law, the principles of the rule of law, as it should be. Because any democracy not founded on the rule of law is no democracy. It can't be known to law. It can at best be described as dictatorship. So you can't operate the rule of law, the democracy rule of law, without regard to the rights and privileges, the protection of the rights and privileges of the citizen of that nation. And these rights have been enshrined in Chapter 4 of the 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So this book is just to show you, as a signpost, a guideline, how to assess, enforce these rights. The right to life, property, association, fair hearing. Very fundamental. Because you can't shave my head in my absence. It's against natural justice and common sense anyway. So, when you don't have these guarantees, where you don't have the means by which you can enforce these rights, you have anarchy, you have injustice, because the rule of law has given way to the rule of man. And that situation, in such a situation, it is law or justice is personalized. You get justice if you know who is dispensing justice, not in accordance with the law or the rule of law. But where the rule of law, I keep on saying this, I've said it even the very first day I was sworn in as the acting Chief Justice of Nigeria. I said it, and I've been saying it even in papers I have delivered, even at the University of Lagos, Faculty of Law, I think early in 2018, that the surest way for us to guarantee our independence, to guarantee our democracy, to guarantee equity and justice to the citizenry, is adherence to the principles of rule of law. And I said it, that within 4 years of adherence to these principles of the rule of law, Nigeria can never be the same again. You see, we have laws, but we don't have the courage to enforce them. Or we enforce them by looking at the faces of those that ought to be enforced for whatever reason, but definitely not the reason of the rule of law, the reasons enshrined in the Constitution of this country. So, this book very, very crucial, very, very important. We cannot overemphasize it. So it is part and parcel of our development. And we need to, the profession, the law profession, needs to stand up. If the legal profession cannot protect, stand to the rights of the citizenry against the mighty machinery of government, then there will always be injustice. There will always be dissatisfaction. The minority will always be crying against the oppression of the majority. They seem not to be protected or to their cries to be heard. It is only when the rule of law prevails that you can walk into the court with all sense of satisfaction, and you are sure to get justice. Take, for instance, when we talk about fundamental rights, take the right of fair hearing. At the beginning of my journey on the bench, sitting on the Cross River State High Court bench, a panel was set up to look at the judiciary, corruption and all that. They visited Cross River State. It later on became known as the Kahade Shores panel. On that panel too were very eminent Nigerians in the legal profession. Oputa was one of them. Abdullahi, who later on who was Attorney General of the Federation, now I understand is late, a very good friend of mine, one of my mentors. I admired him so much because I came closer in contact with him during my sojourn as the chairman of the Fairbanks Tribunal hosted to Ibadan. They came. At the end of the day, I started hearing rumors that I have been recommended for dismissal. I said, for what? It can't happen. And behold, it happened. You can imagine me seated at the All Nigerian NBA annual conference at the Lorraine. The then Attorney General and Minister of Justice, Senator Nkanu was present. Where are they? I sat behind. Sorry. At a certain stage, I decided to, before going in, I decided to buy a copy of the Tell magazine so that I could have something to be reading. I saw they had ropes on the bench, 49 ropes on the bench. Goodness me. Walked in, attracted my attention, opened up. And behold, I saw my name boldly written there as one of the rooks, 49 rooks on the bench. There was much outcry at the time. Should they do this, do that to these people? Well, President Obasanjo listened to our advice and set up, referred the matter to NJC, which had recently been established under the 1999 Constitution, and Babalakin's commission of a committee was established by NJC to review the exercise. I was written to present my response to whatever accusation that were leveled against me, and I wrote back and said, I have no knowledge of any allegation leveled against me before that panel. So I was not given the privilege of answering anything that they could cross-check, because commissions of inquiry, I conducted one. You have 3 report volumes. Volume 1 is normally the summonses, witness summons, petitions against parties, your replies and things like that. Volume 2 is the record of proceedings at the commission. Then volume 3 is the report of the commission, their findings and recommendations. That they could go through those and find out whether I was ever listed even as a witness or anything. And nothing of the sort actually happened. But I thank God for that review, because it gave me the opportunity to be heard. You see, I was heard, and I remained on the bench. Then 2019, January came. And there were rumors going on. Under democratic dispensation, if somebody has committed any offense, I think you need to ask him to explain. Nothing of the sort happened. Early, prior to my suspension as the Chief Justice of Nigeria, I was confronted with nothing, no allegations, except rumors upon rumors. But under democratic dispensation, constitutional democracy, everything is set up in the Constitution, and the rule of law ought to prevail. But nothing like that happened. There were rumors that I met with Atiku in Dubai. And as I'm standing before you here, physically and talking to you, I have never met Atiku one-on-one in my life, let alone go to Dubai to meet him as a sitting Chief Justice of Nigeria. And the government had all the apparatus to carry out investigation, to confirm if they wanted or deny. It was on the day I was suspended that I heard that I presided over my watch and set free high-profile criminals and things like that. I ceased to be a High Court judge since 1998, following my elevation to the Court of Appeal. I ceased to be a justice of the Court of Appeal in 2005, following my elevation to the Supreme Court. I conduct no trials except on the original jurisdiction of the Supreme Court bench. I don't sit alone, we sit in panels. How and when did I do it all? And that was at the time that my suspension from office was being announced, based on these whatever reasons that are now public knowledge. But I was not given the opportunity to defend myself, to say whether I did any of those things or not. Meanwhile, the matter went to court, and while it was still in court, the motion of notice was to be heard, and surreptitiously behind, an ex parte order was obtained, and I was removed suspended from my office of Chief Justice of Nigeria. Chief Justice of Nigeria. That office does not belong to Walter Samuel Nkanu Onnoghen. It belongs to Nigeria, established by the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, which I and the rest of the heads of court, arms of government swore to protect and defend. So, but what my message to you for this book and the enforcement of fundamental rights is that the judicial officers must remain courageous. They should not be discouraged by what happened to me. Otherwise, what happened to me would have succeeded in blackmailing them, in cajoling them, in forcing them to think that it is only the government in power that deserves justice. Whatever you understand by that justice, that the emerging brand of Nigerian justice is no justice. They should not go that direction, but they should remember what I kept on telling them while in office, that they must remain courageous, because without them, Nigeria is doomed. Without them remaining courageous, without the bar and the bench remaining courageous, Nigeria is doomed. I said it before, that the moment you succeed in politicizing the appointment of judicial officers, then democracy is dead, and it remains a fact, because everybody is trying to own judges that they can influence. That is what is happening. That's what has been happening, at least for the past, at least during my watch. Nigeria has become aware of the fact that, of a truth, the problem of Nigeria is not the Nigerian judiciary. Never. So, I thank you very much for this opportunity, and this book is very essential, as I said, to this country as a nation, to us as practitioners, and those of us who are committed to the rule of law, enforcement, and trying to bring about justice to all manner of persons without fear of favor, affection, or ill will. My mission statement remains to ensure that both the government and governed are subject to the rule of law. Truth stands. Cross to the earth, it will rise again. The eternal years of God are hers. Thank you for this simple opportunity.
Just before he gets to his seat, let's keep the clock coming for the former Chief Justice of Nigeria,